it was so nice to just get out on such a gorgeous day, even though we didn't find much today. But I mean, like yesterday too, we ended up meeting up with another friend as well that doesn't have a metal detector but wanted to try it out. Has watched several of my videos, and um, you know, it's just to be able, it's the camaraderie to be able to share in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because a lot of us only hunt usually sometimes with one person or by ourselves. I mean, I hunted for years and years by myself. And you find something that's really cool and you don't have anybody to share that with.
Yes.
But but also I think part of it, not just that part, because you may go out there and not find anything. And yeah, that can get a little frustrating. But at the same time, look at all these diggers from all over that share this wonderful thing in common with you that you love to do, and getting to go out there, and see them. Some of them we've heard of them, or they're like, oh, hey, we listen to y'all's podcast.
Yeah.
You know how it was. People we hadn't met up with. I mean, recently, what was it you were saying? We had some listeners that listened to the podcast from like Australia.
Oh yeah. Yep. Australia.
So wouldn't it be cool to, I know that some people really travel for some of these hunts and organize hunts as well. I mean, to meet up with some of these people that listen to us or watch us on video, etc., at these hunts, it's just it's an amazing thing. But yeah, I was just saying that very same thing to Jackie today about how nice it is to have someone to share, in that moment when you do dig something or, you know, um, and that's what makes these hunts so much because you meet new friends. Um, and I know, so tell, what is your thoughts too on, let's say you're going to a hunt like this for the first time. What do you think the number one, of course, yeah, you need a metal detector. What do you usually do about backups and backup things to bring and then extra things to bring that a lot of people don't always think about?
Um, so if you are flying or driving, I'm not sure about a lot of these hotels. I know some of the older ones don't have many plugs, so I always tell people to bring the power strip with them, like an extension power
Mm-hmm.
strip. Those are very important to make sure you do charge all your gear each night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I'm fortunate enough to have a backup detector, so I bring, two detectors with me. I have an extra pinpointer. We have an extra hand lash. We try to bring an extra of everything in the event that A, we lose it, B, we end up meeting up with someone who might need something. Plus, we're driving, so it makes it a lot easier than, say, us flying out, because flying, yeah, definitely makes it a little bit more complicated on what you pack and what you can't. I know that I've been looking at the weather, but I'm not packing yet because it's still, 9 days out. Once we get
Right,
closer, then I'm going to, sit down and figure out, okay, do I need rain gear? Do I need my bogs? Do I need this? Do I need that? Becca mentioned, and I didn't even think about it, probably because the sun is not a warm thing to us here. It's just a light, um, is sunscreen. So I'm like,
right.
oh, I gotta add that to the list. So I thank you, Becca. Um, but I
I think
mean,
something else that is really important because sometimes we go detecting, like you and I, when we're out on private properties and stuff, we may be close to our vehicle where we can go grab stuff we need. But when you're on a field out, like these 5,000 acres of land, you're on a
uh,
100-acre plot and you're right smack out in the middle, you need to bring certain things on your
yeah.
body,
Oh
on your
yeah,
person.
absolutely.
So I can't stress enough that bringing a backpack is
Backpack.
amazing.
Yep.
Not to mention, as you and I have talked about before, and you'll hear Amanda and I, it's one of our big pet peeves about people smack out in the middle of the field, digging a big piece of iron, at least put it in your backpack and carry it over to the side, out of the plowway.
Yeah.
Or go, a lot of these big hunts have big places where you can go
Yep.
drop the scrap,
Yep. They're
so.
usually, I know Digstock does them. There with stakes and then have orange like tape around it so you can leave it in the area and not have to carry it all day. My backpack at Digstock this past fall was water, like the granola or nut bars,
Hmm.
um, toilet paper,
Gotta
any
have the
extra.
TP.
Yep, yep. I'm trying to think. I think I had a larger like finds case because, you might find something like the Conestoga bells or
Hmm.
the spoons or things like that that you don't really want to go in it doesn't fit in the finds
Yeah,
case, but it also you don't want to throw it in your pouch with all the trash. So
right.
I usually keep that like as an extra, like I'll throw a freezer bag into a different pocket of my backpack, and that's where I'll put that stuff, the bigger stuff that won't fit.
Bug
Yep,
spray,
bug spray.
sunscreen.
Um, I
Something I've
carry
been doing.
ibuprofen and a leave as well,
Yes,
and
gotta have those.
KT tape. But I might be the only person that carries KT tape. So if you hurt yourself, yeah, come find me. I'll have a big white backpack on. I People can find me easier with the white backpack, I heard. So
That's perfect. Something that
oh,
I've kind
first
of
aid
gotten
kit.
more, first aid kit.
Yep,
Yes, it's
batteries.
so important.
And not
Extra
batteries.
batteries, or a power charger too.
Yeah,
One of
anchor.
those that, yeah, that you can stick in the back. Or what I like to buy or have, which I need to order a new one, I think, is the ones that have the solar on them too. That
Mm-hmm.
way, if you're outside, and you need to charge something
Yep.
like your headphones or whatever, you've got a solar panel there that you don't need a plug in to get that charged. Well, you need a plug, but not a plug in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Handy dandy. But what I was about to say is something that I've started doing more than toilet paper is bringing the disposable, the ones that break down, the biodegradable,
Oh yeah.
um, wet wipes, because then you can also, because I inevitably get dirt on my face or my arms or something, and maybe you don't have time to go back and clean up. So maybe, afterwards we're all going to a restaurant to eat or something. They're just handy. So just saying. That's what I've gotten to where I do more
Yeah, that
instead
makes
of carrying
sense.
a roll of toilet paper.
That makes sense.
So. What else? Flashlights, headlamps. What do you need? What else?
Well, no flashlights because I think flashlights to do side views of finds, but there's no night, I don't think. I don't think
No
there's any
night
night
hunts or
hunting
anything
or
like that.
anything. Yeah. Who knows? You might get a permission, so it's something good to
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Extra set of socks if it's wet. Um, you know,
Always
I
good to have in the backpack.
and
Hmm.
if you're first time going to one of these hunts or anything like that, layers is a really great thing to have. Wear layers. That way, if you start getting hot, you can, take a layer off. If you start getting cold, you can put a layer back on. Um, I have one of those,
That's another reason for that backpack,
yep.
right?
Um, Paul and Gail, I think, will be there, and having one of those like ponchos is really great to have in case it all of a sudden starts torrential downpours. Though I've seen people, makeshift with those hefty trash bags. So,
Right.
we've had to do that for a hunt before, is run over to a Walmart and find, I think they were called toadies or toads or something that was
Right.
waterproof. And eventually I was just like, trash bags would be cheaper.
So
Um,
true. I mean, it's handy, of course, always, something like that. But I kind of like having something lightweight that has a hood on it.
hmm
But
Yep.
you can make those trash bag's where it's out of.
Hmm.
You know,
And the great
that's
thing
what that
about
is.
water is your bag might be heavy to begin with, but if you're actually drinking it and like you should, your bag should get lighter. So, and
So true.
we always keep backup. We'll have you can fill, if you bring a cooler with you and you're staying at a hotel or even near a gas station, you can fill it up with ice each day, which is what we've done. And, we'll pick up the 35 pack of water and, big thing of Gatorade and just throw it in the cooler each day, refill it up, and that helps. Carrie actually said, yeah, a bucket. So well, the bucket for trash we did as well. And that way if we weren't near one of those iron patch dump sites, we'd put it all in the bucket and then dump the bucket at the next spot.
Yeah, those are handy for that for sure. Yeah, we
Yep.
did that. I'd forgotten about that. Remember, we filled the whole bucket full.
Yeah, we did. Yep. Yep.
Trash.
So
It
much
was you,
trash.
me, and Laura,
Hmm.
and maybe a few others.
Hmm.
I filled that bucket up.
I know I usually keep, like, for later on, I'll bring a bag down that's got like a plastic plate. I love taking pictures on fleece, different colored fleece, like cutout type things. But I'll have all my cleaning stuff that I would normally have at home, except for any of the like CLR and stuff like that I leave here. But I'll have all the different brushes, the toothbrushes, the bristles, the steel wool, you name it. I bring that stuff down with me, and when I'm in the field, I'll try to remember a toothbrush to clean off anything that I see, so you can see it in the field.
That
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I guess I've cleaned my pouches and I wash my pouches from time to time,
Hmm.
and my brush didn't get put back in my pouch, and I'm like lost without my pouch. Like yesterday, I found something out in the field, but I just ended up just putting water on it and it worked fine. But sometimes water doesn't always work, so you need that brush. So I've got to find my
Ooh.
brushes.
Well, time for a new toothbrush, right?
Yeah,
When I get to
true.
the point where I
Well,
can't find, I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's time for a new toothbrush for myself, and I'll just use that one
yeah.
for, yep.
But my friend gave me a couple of years ago, or maybe it was, yeah, it wasn't this last year, but the year before for my birthday. My friend Zola had given me their gun cleaning. They're really long handle, and they've got brushes
Hmm.
on both ends, different types. I'm sure you've seen them.
Yeah, yep.
And gave me those. And those have been my favorite so far, relic brushes, really. I love those things.
Mm. And I gotta remember too, like, so Digstock in upstate New York in October, late October, it was it was below freezing. Like it was cold in the mornings and it stayed cold until about, a good portion of midday. And so gonna be keeping an eye on that, but I don't think, even in the evenings, it doesn't look, as of right now, it doesn't look like how cold it was there. So that already we're ahead of the game.
Right, right.
And then yeah, just keep an open mind, that's one of the biggest things is people get frazzled, especially if you're not finding anything. And there's just that's the other issue is when you have, what is it, 7,000 acres or something like that. Um, you're, that's a lot of area. So, take a break, relook at the maps and figure out another area to go to. But or come find me. I'll have little goodie bags to give away. Treasure bags. I don't know what the heck they're called. I think I call them goodie bags, whatever. But so from not knowing if you're going to find anything and not knowing where to look, let's skip over to your hunt.